I can write equations from verbal situations. So there are a lot of signal words in here. Whenever we need a variable, it'll say something like each or per day, things like that. If we're going to use addition, it'll be increase or more than. If we're going to subtract, it'll be decrease, less than or fewer than. Equal means total or the same. Multiplication could mean twice, which is times 2, or triple times 3. And if we need division, it'll be quotient or split. Now notice some of these have little stars by them. They are switch words. That means they happen. You have to put that part of the verbal situation after the next part. So we'll do some examples so you can see that, okay? A number M, I'm going to go ahead and start writing. That's how I do this. A number M increased by 23 is equal to 15 more than. This is a switch word, so we have to be careful. We have to do this over here first. Twice the number M, so that would be 2M plus 15. Okay, that didn't fit very well, but that's what it is. So a number M increased by 23 is equal to 15 more than twice the number M. Okay? The next one, Wyatt bought a pack of cookies. There were 32 cookies to start with, so I'm going to go ahead and write 32. And he ate 2 a day. So if he's eating cookies, is that positive or negative? It's definitely negative. So he ate 2 per or each day. That means we need a variable. Then it says, after X days, there were 14 cookies left in the jar. All right, so that's how we would set up these equations. We know we started with 32, okay? We know that he ate 2 a day, per day, and that we want to know, or at the end, after X days, however many that was, that there were 14 cookies left in the jar. So that is how you would write the equation, and then if needed, you could solve for that as well. Now we have another one. Hamza bought a pack of cookies. There were 32 cookies to begin with, and he ate 2 each day. After some number of days, there were 14 left in a jar. Does this question sound familiar? It should. Which of the following equations represents the day X when there are 14 cookies left? So again, we started with 32. He ate 2 per day, and he ended up with 14. So let's see if we can find that equation. Here it is right here. This is adding 2 cookies a day. That's not going to work. This is multiplying by the original amount, which definitely isn't going to work. And of course, that's not going to work either. All right. Now, Coach Sloan is ordering t-shirts for the baseball team. Each shirt costs $11.50. Each one is $11.50. So that means $11.50 is going to be multiplied by a variable. And he has to pay a one-time shipping fee. Only once, so we just have to add it. Okay? The total price of the shirts, including shipping, is $260. And we want to know how many shirts he ordered. Okay? So again, you would just solve this equation to figure out how many shirts he ordered. So I'm just going to show you how to do that real quick if you'd like. Of course, you can solve longhand, but you could also look, put that half of your equation in, and then find an x value that gave you 260. So let's see if we can find that x value. Well, it looks like we're going to get a lot higher, so let's see. 20 shirts. He bought 20 shirts because that equals $260. Okay? Now let's look at this one. It says Donna and Tom are saving money. Donna has $58. Good for her. And she is going to solve an additional $3 per day. Tom has only $34. That's all right, Tom. But he's going to save an additional $5 per day. After how many days will they have the same amount? And the same is where that equal sign comes in. Again, they've given you solutions. So in this case, I could solve it by hand, which I would just because I enjoy doing that. But you could also plug it straight into your calculator and make sure that you can find an x value that makes the two sides of the equation equal. Well, the first possible choice is 3. That didn't make it equal. The second possible choice is 11.6 days. That didn't make it equal either. Got close, but it didn't do it. The next one is 12 days. Now, if you look at 12 days, they each have $94. So that's how you find your answer. But in true Benson Voss fashion, check every answer, and as you notice, 15 doesn't work either. So 12 is definitely the answer for you. Which algebraic equation best represents the verbal equation? All right, let's see what we can do. 3 times the sum. Okay, we need to talk about something. When you have two operations in a row, times and sum, which times is multiplication and sum is adding, that means you need parentheses. So I'm going to say 3 times the sum of a number x and 5 is equivalent. Is equivalent means equal to the same number, which was x, decreased by 1. Now, I know that sounds a little weird, but again, when you have two things in a row, 3 times the sum or 3 times the difference would mean parentheses and a minus sign. Just keep an eye out for that. So we've got 3x plus 5 equals x minus 1. So that's definitely the answer right there. We don't have to go any further. Okay, so I'm going to read it once more. 3 times the sum means parentheses and that we're going to add of a number x and 5, that goes inside the parentheses, is equivalent means equal to, the same as the same number, which is x, that's the variable we used, decreased, that means subtraction, by 1. All right, so don't let these scare you. You can absolutely figure them out. All right, we're going to stop right there.